a second. I'm gonna get everybody in here. This is out of control. Y'all see me? You see me, Welch? This brother kicked me out because he wanted to mute me because he was saying nonsensical things. I'm gonna do a quick recap, and I'm gonna continue where I would have liked to leave off. Sam is ridiculous. This was some damn shenanigans right here. Some goddamn shenanigans. You see, with somebody like Sam, it's all about showmanship. You know, so he likes to feel like he came out on top. Y'all could you're gonna be a special project of mine, Sam. I'm gonna make you my special project. Because you know what I did to you. You know what I did to you earlier this year. You know all the times, I ran you out. Had you looking silly on a thread. We talking about scripture, and all of a sudden you talk about your childhood, how you got jumped, psychologically snapping on threads. You're gonna be my pet project. I'm gonna peel you, Samuel Addison. You play games, you play shenanigans, bro, and that's low. For you to have to mute me, that shows that you mismanaged your thread. We were on your platform. We were gonna go on my platform first, but you insisted on your platform, so I let you go on your platform, and you abused it. And now you look silly, bro, because I was there. And I was screaming to you in the chat room. All your people saw. Everybody saw. I was trying to get back into the live. You were reading the comments. You were reading the comments, Samuel Addison. So I know you saw what I was talking about. I know you saw what I was saying. Everybody was telling you to let me back in the discussion. And I'm gonna turn this around. So everybody knows exactly what I saw, because I don't think you guys see this. This is it was done through StreamYard. Okay, what you're seeing on my screen is the remnant of Sam's broadcast. This is his broadcast room. Okay, let me show you what this clown did. Okay, gloves off now, man. I was cordial with you. Now you playing games now. All because you want to feel special. This is what it is. All right, this is the remnant of Samuel Addison's broadcast room. We are on StreamYard. Okay, when I was blued in, see my avatar's still there. He left me in the room. Guys. This was red. The timer was going. Now it stopped. I'm still here. He's gone. This is supposed to be blue. He grayed this out. He grayed my avatar out so that I couldn't speak. That's fine. If you're going to try to control me like Brother Jay did, that's fine. But at least have the decency to add me back in. He on his end of the broadcast stream, he sees his shared screen because he was sharing a screen, and he sees mine. He sees my avatar is next to his avatar because he has his audio next to my audio, and his screen share is here just as next to both of our audio. He knew I was there. All he had to do was click this right here, and I would be back in the discussion. So what happened? I'm still here. He's gone. And you saw what I was yelling. The same way he clicked me out is the same way he could have clicked me back in. This is me screaming to get back in. All the while he's saying, "Where is he? Oh, I guess he's out. Oh, I guess he's not here anymore." Are you kidding me, Sam? Yeah, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Sorry, because I know how you feel about me, Sam. I know how you feel about me. I know how I ran you out of the Rumble room for weeks. You didn't show up for weeks. You didn't show up for days. Everybody knows this. I'm gonna expose you because that's fake. That's fake, bro. If I was on it, if this was on my platform, I wouldn't have did you this way. I would have managed a way to let you say what you say. Unbelievable. I'm shouting to get back in. I'm shouting. A brother like Sam, no, like this type of shenanigans is expected. So I hope you, Welch, Sajeda, Jimmy, I hope you guys really understand who you're on boat with. Vincent, all you guys. That's cool. I don't mind. I'm just gonna continue where I left off. You can stop my voice on your platform. That's fine. You can make it. You can step out on stage and keep the apple in my mouth backstage, and that's fine. I'm just gonna expose you on here, bro. Number one, first of all, let's talk about how ridiculous Sam's assertion about Paul's, how he manages Paul's documents. Sam Addison, okay, he believes, one second, let me get this. He believes that Paul's documents aren't all Paul's, but he will, as you saw, he will talk as if he does believe that Paul authored them. This is what Paul said in Colossians. This is what Paul said. All of a sudden, this is what Paul said. But when you talk about Paul's document, he says, oh, this document wasn't authored by Paul, and that document wasn't authored by Paul. Let's see the receipts. And I'm going to expose you, Sam. I kept quiet. You know, I kept quiet because you don't need me to bash Matt Salih. But you ain't all put together, bro. And I'm going to show you. And I'm going to show the people. He operates the same way. And he has this tone about him. Am I the only one that doesn't feel like Samuel Addison's voice doesn't run their blood pressure up? Let's talk about this, though. He quoted Colossians, and he said that Colossians wasn't Paul. He said, and then I said, you don't even believe Colossians, that Colossians was written by Paul. He said, yes, I do, and then he muted me and he took me out of the discussion when he never could get me back. This is Sam's words. I said, okay, so I knew Sam had done this a long time ago. I did this for you, Welch. I did this for you, Mark Walker. I did this for you, Vincent Davis. Sam doesn't believe that all the documents of Paul's writings are written by Paul. I disagree with that. But he'll cite a book called Forged, and you guys can see the author for yourself. Matter of fact, I'll pull up the CV. I'll pull up the picture of the guy in the CV. I quoted Timothy. He says, Paul did not write Timothy. It's a forgery in his name. The context of 1 Timothy appears to be addressing false prophets. So I'm like, okay, if he wants to say that, that's fine. Go ahead. I said, okay, I see. Cool. Are there any other forgeries in the New Testament I should look out for? He said, yes. 2 Thessalonians, all 3 pastoral epistles, both Timothy and Titus, Ephesians and Colossians. He did say, and he also cited, I think it was the Huffington Post. He decided, the Huffington Post, to prove that Colossians wasn't authored by Paul. Okay, all right, Sam, you can quote the Huffington Post. That's fine. No, we're gonna get this out, bro. We're gonna get this out because this is what the Rumble Room is for. It's about disagreements. I don't have anything personal against. I don't have anything personal against Sam. Like this is nothing I'm gonna hold against Sam. But I'm gonna call him on his shit. I'm gonna call him on his. I'm gonna call him because, I mean, that's number one what we do in the Rumble Room. That's what I do, at least. and if you see something fake, you call it out too. Enough of this politically correctness. That's not how the truth gets out. This is the book that Sam is citing to say that Colossians and other books of Pauline writing attributed to Paul aren't actually written by Paul. I don't even know if he's actually read this book. This is the guy that believes it. This is the guy that believes it. This is the guy where Sam Addison got his idea from. And I believe this guy is some sort of, he holds some sort of degree in divinity from, I think maybe Columbia. But Sam, if you notice, he wanted to hurry through this, and he knew he owed the people an explanation. But he was like, I don't want to get caught on arguing the scholarship. Well, there are some of your listeners who actually believe that Paul wrote the documents. There was some people in your audience, Samuel Addison, that actually believe that Paul wrote both Thessalonians, Timothy, Titus, Ephesians, Colossians, and even some that attribute Paul to Hebrews. Not all, but this idea, like, how popular is that? How widespread is that? How many Christians agree with that? And how many Hebrews agree with that? Agree with you, Sam Addison, that Paul did not write Ephesians, Colossians, Titus, both Timothys, and both Thessalonians. It should be a red flag to you, Welch. It should be a red flag. What else do I want to go into? Oh, also, Samuel Addison, there are some people who don't hold your views. He said he believes in circumcision. Vinny Davis, I don't think he believes that we need to be circumcised in the flesh. I don't think Welch believes that. Let's talk about it. I don't think Truth Seeker believes that. I thought that was somebody in the group. I was wrong. I don't think Sheik believes that. I don't think Sheik Atiba believes that. And so you guys are in the peanut gallery. You guys don't even agree, but you found common resolve. You found a common enemy, somebody who disagrees with Paul. So you think you're in unison, but you guys aren't even unison with the guy who I'm going against. Are you nuts? What kind of mob mentality is that? Are you guys using your brain? That's fine. You could found a common enemy. I'm not worried. Because this is just gonna inspire a stream of lives. That's all it's gonna do. And I'm gonna tag Samuel Addison in every one of them. I tagged him in this one. I don't know where he's at. It's all good though. You don't need to show up. After he kept me out, after he held me underwater and ended his live, I'm not surprised he hasn't put in a comment. Sam, if you're there, you need to speak up. Shenanigans. Where else am I going to go? Okay, let's talk about this argument of Sam's that I'm going to flip the camera back. Let's talk about this argument of Sam's about oral Torah, how Paul was not talking about being justified by the Torah from Sinai, but he was talking about being justified by an oral Torah. Let me ask you, Sam Addison. Is circumcision part of oral Torah? Was circumcision part of the Talmud? No, it wasn't. All throughout the letters, he gives excuses. He gives an argument of why you don't need circumcision anymore. If you guys are with me, let's go through the arguments. Because Sam filibustered. I knew he would do it. And I knew he would do that because when we're talking about these things on comment boards, he does the same thing. And what he'll do, he'll create straw man arguments. If you pin him down on a point, he'll create a point and argue that point, and you didn't even bring that point up. But he'll bring that point up so that he has room to argue from. Pacroseeno, Sam said Gentiles didn't need to be circumcised. And that's not Torah. Gentiles do need to be circumcised. Let's go through Gentiles, because that's why I didn't want to do it the way I did it. What he did, he was like, "You say your piece, and I'll say my piece." And what Sam does is he lets you establish your points, and he comes behind you and he says all this inflammatory stuff, and he uses all this positional language to make it seem like you don't know what you're talking about. But I brought up very valid points. When Paul says, no man should be justified by the law, he's not talking about oral Torah. He's not talking about oral Torah. He's talking about Torah. He's talking about Torah. In Romans, let's go to Romans 2. 2:14. See, what I wanted to do is I wanted to address passages of Scripture. Sam knows he's unable to address these passages of Scripture. That's why he filibustered and went to a different portion of Scripture. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, Torah, he's not talking about oral Torah, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, in their thoughts the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another. He talks about the Jews as having the law. Let's see if I can find it. Talks about the Jews, we who are Jews having the law, we are the Jews having circumcision. What good is us who doesn't fulfill the law? Okay, let's see. "17. He's talking about Torah, guys. He's not talking about no oral Torah. That's some shenanigans. Oh, good. Yes, you did kick me out, Sam. I didn't leave. I just showed the people I was still in your broadcast room. I showed the people that I was still in your broadcast room. And your people saw me typing, click my avatar. You didn't click my avatar, bro. You were so concerned of controlling me that I don't know, maybe you didn't remember how to operate the technology. I'll chalk it up to that. But I was there. And I'm going to show you right now. Stick around, Sam Addison. I'm going to stick around because I'm going to show you that you're wrong about the Paul talking specifically about the oral Torah that doesn't justify. No, he's talking about Torah. He says, "Behold, thou art a Jew, and restest in the law." He's talking about Torah. "And makest thy boast of God. And knowest thou will improve the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law. Art confident that thou thyself art a guide of the blind, a light which are in darkness." This is about Torah. "An instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, which thou hast formed of knowledge and of truth in the law." And you didn't prove your point, Sam. You got everybody lost in the woods, and because nobody knows what you're talking about with regards to your documents, your fragments, they all sort of just chalk it up to you as knowledge. You don't even know what you're talking about. You're just too busy trying to patch up your broken belief. "If thou keepest the law, but if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision." He's talking, and this is verse 25, 225. He's talking about Torah. He's talking about Torah. "Therefore, if uncircumcision keep the unrighteous of the law, shall his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision." He's talking about the law, Sam. I'm done harping on that. But let's go forward. Let's talk about how Paul's statements are nonsensical. Because you can block me on your platform, Sam, but I'm just going to tag you in here. Let's get to it. And I'll just ask these questions for you, Sam, and you can answer them if you want, or you can start your own. You can write them down and start your own live. But I'm going to just put them on here for you. This is what I thought of. I'm not gonna add you in my video. Fuck out of here. I'm not gonna. You can sit and listen to me because I sat and listened to you while I was blotted out. So get the hell out of here. You're a trip. You're insane, Sam. You got problems in your brain, dude. For when Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law to themselves. How does a Gentile who is uncircumcised do the law? Don't you need to be circumcised in order to properly do the law? How do you show the work of the law written on? How does a Gentile show the? How? Right, Sajeda. Thank you. You blocked me, bro. You took my audio out. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. You really embarrassed yourself. You had things working in your favor, Sam. You should have found it. You should have took it slow. And you look silly, bro, because you said Colossians wasn't authored by Paul, and then you cited Paul and was like, oh, Paul said in Colossians, and then you said, no, I did say Colossians written by Paul. You're all mixed up, Sam. I'm going to show him why you ran from me earlier in the year 3 times. Took a long hiatus. All of a sudden, you post back after a few days, and I'm like, "Oh man, where you been, Sam?" I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show him how you broke down. How you broke down. I think it was talking about idolatrous sacrifices, and all of a sudden, you brought up how you were a child, how you got jumped in East Baltimore. All of a sudden, we were talking about how you got jumped in East Baltimore and how you didn't get a scratch. Yeah, they're gonna know about you, Sam. They're going to know about you. You're not going to pull the shenanigans on me. You can pull the shenanigans on anybody else, but you're going to play me straight, or else you're not going to get in the ring with me at all. Unbelievable. I'm appalled at you, Sam. I'm appalled. But I'm just going to go on with the points that I was making, and I hope you consider them. And I'm not going to add you to this, and I'm not going to add you to this live because you had a chance to dialogue with me, and you cut my voice out. So I hope you, and I hope the other are going to be added to this live right now. Fucking ridiculous. How do Gentiles who do not have the law naturally keep the law? How do they show the work of the law written on their heart? They can't take part in feast days. They're not circumcised. And then Paul says, he makes the comparison of Jews having the law. Then he talks about the Gentiles, how the Gentiles are better off. He's talking about circumcision. We're talking about circumcision here. Circumcision verily profiteth. Sam, Romans was written by the same author as Colossians. I'm sorry, Galatians. Everybody saw Sam. I was still there asking to be in. I just showed him your broadcast. Listen, circumcision profiteth. Yeah, you guys don't see me like this often. Unbelievable. For circumcision verily profiteth if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. Is that true? No. If you're circumcised, that's what you should be. Now, whether you keep the law or forsake the law after being circumcised, that's a different story. But circumcision should always be done. And you know that Paul is he's making the point that circumcision doesn't profit anything if you don't keep the law. Now, not being circumcised profits you something because it was commanded as a token of keeping the law, of the covenant. Profits something. Not keeping the law or forsaking the law doesn't profit a man anything. So keeping the law, being circumcised is profitable. And you know that was Paul's point in this, because even in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 7:19, he said, circumcision profit a man nothing. He said circumcision is nothing. He says circumcision is nothing and uncircumcision is nothing. I'm going to jump there real quick because there's a verse there that's before that I want to make sure I caught. Therefore, if circumcision keep the... Listen to this. Therefore, if uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? That's verse 26. Therefore, if circumcision keep the righteousness of the law, how can uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law? They're not circumcised. Shall not his uncircumcision be counted for No, his uncircumcision will not be counted for circumcision. No, it will not. This is the type of stuff Sam doesn't want to deal with. For he is not a Jew who is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh. Wow. For he is not a Jew which is not one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward of the flesh. He's speaking 180 degrees against Torah. But he is a Jew who is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart and spirit and not in the letter. That's against Torah. Of course, one should be circumcised according to the letter, according to the law. Of course, you can't be circumcised in heart unless you're a man can't be circumcised, can't consider him circumcised in heart while being uncircumcised. Because circumcised in heart means following the laws and commandments. And I'll take you there. Deuteronomy 12. This is the type of stuff Sam doesn't want to deal with. He took control and he got us lost in the woods about the split in Galatians 2. And I wasn't even disputing that. He invited it for conversation, and I was being gracious. So I said, okay, we can deal, because I didn't want to seem like I was running from anything. But he took it and made it the majority of the rest of our discussion. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know that ain't right, Welch. You know that ain't right what he did. That's some coward behavior, Sam. I'm appalled. I am appalled. Circumcision of the heart is following the commandments. Verse 11, arise and take your journey before the people, that they may go in the land and possess it, which I swore to their fathers to give to them. And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you, but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all of his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command you this day for good. Behold, heaven and earth, behold, the heaven and heaven of heavens is the Lord your God. The earth is also with all that. Make sure this is chapter 1. My fault. Oh yeah, it is. Here we go. Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Lord your God. The earth is also with all therein is. Verse 15. Only the Lord had a delight in you. Yes, he didn't. He didn't, Sam. I mean, he didn't, Welch. But Paul does, and he's trying to say that Paul doesn't, and Paul does. 16. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, a great mighty God, mighty, and a terrible, which regards not persons nor takes reward. He's not. Well, it's my problem with Sam is that he's not representing Paul. He's not properly representing Paul. I'm asking him to go through the text, and he's wanting to stick with something he can argue. If you stick with me, I'll take you through all the crazy things Paul says. Paul's writings he writes in weird language. And you don't realize it until you roll up on it and really look at it really close. And it's like, what is he talking about? And Sam's not going to do it justice, because Sam has a bias that he wants to to keep Paul. And that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking us to take an objective look at Paul's statements. How does the uncircumcised keep the law? How does the uncircumcised keep the law? How does one not circumcise their heart except that they follow the law? Is in Romans 25 through 29, and I want to address the verse that you brought up, Welch, about Romans 3:31, and I wish Jimmy C was here too. I'm gonna go through that just next, just for you, just so you know that he's not pumping the law. In this passage of scripture, 25 through 29, he's making the case that an uncircumcised person who apparently somehow follows the law is better than a circumcised person who doesn't follow the law. But an uncircumcised person breaks the law by virtue of their uncircumcision. So let's deal with that was my point for that. So let's deal with your scripture. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. Now, when you read that alone by itself, Welch Fair, of course it looks, you can't deny that. Of course it looks like Paul's defending the law. But this statement is not a standalone statement. It's a follow-up statement to a belief. Let's take a look at it. Now, this whole passage of scripture, he's justifying righteousness not through the law, but justified through faith in Jesus Christ. Now, I'm wondering. I'm going to get to your statement, Welch, but I'm just setting it up. I'm wondering, why does he pit following the law with having faith in Jesus Christ? Like Jesus, well, let's say Hamashiach or Yahusha. Like, I gave up changing my language for. I know Jesus is not his real name, but I get tired of like brain checking myself. And so the Messiah, we know that the Messiah taught the law. Okay, why do I have to feel guilty about following the law and having faith in Hamashiach? But Paul makes me do that. But now the righteousness of God without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and prophets. No, there's no prophet that said there is righteousness without the law. There's no prophet that backs that up. Okay, so let's deal with what you said. Where is boasting then? Is it excluded? It is excluded. By what? By what law? Of works? No, but by the law of faith. Therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Okay? Is he the God of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, of the Gentiles also. I wouldn't disagree with that. Of course he's God of the Gentiles. But let's read what he says next. Seeing it is one God which justify the circumcision by faith and circumcision through faith. Now, you got to take your time with that because it's easy to just gloss over that. Let's flesh out what Paul is saying. Seeing it is one God which justify the circumcision by faith and justify the uncircumcision through faith. So now his follow-up statement is, listen to what he says. Do we make void the law through faith? Do we make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. Well, how does that follow? Now you see, Pat, you see, Welch. You see, Welch. You're taking it somewhere different. And let me look, in the law justifies if we broke or break the law. Now I think you're arguing something different than what Sam said. And Sam said, just quickly touching on what Sam said, he said, no, the law does not justify us. Obedience to the law justifies. Well, just like disobedience condemns. We know that. And Paul knows that. He's not making that qualification. He's not saying that. Of course he means obedience to the law. Because he says, because works, if you're producing works and deeds according to the law, of course it would be obedience to the law. But he's saying that doesn't justify you. So here, Welch, we see that he's talking about, do we make void the law through faith? Well, if you definitely make void the law through faith, if you assert that God will justify the uncircumcised through faith, you definitely make void the law. Why? Because the uncircumcised are supposed to be circumcised. Do we make void the law through faith? If you believe that the uncircumcised will be justified by God, yes, you do make void the law. Now, let's read your question, Welch, and we're going to go to Philippians because I want to bring out a point. I want to sum up a point about circumcision. Philippians goes into circumcision. All right, Pacroseeno, how can the law justify us if we broke or break the law? But let me see, because this when I click comments, the emoji, here we go. The emojis pop up and block the message. But our justification comes, we need Jesus to be justified, but our justification comes by keeping the law. Well, that's what I argue. We need to keep the law. We need to keep the law. Hamashiach taught repentance, keeping the law. That's not what Paul is saying. That's not what Paul is saying. When Paul says the uncircumcised, he's talking about the Gentiles. Right. I agree. But Gentiles have to be circumcised. It's not as Paul said in Galatians 2. Titus was compelled. He was compelled to be circumcised. Let's go to Philippians real quick, because and maybe this will be my last point, and I'll take questions and interact with you guys more. But I'm lit, man. Like, I can't believe Sam did this. Like, what shenanigans? What shenanigans? And he's gonna be my pet project, just like Matt Saleh was. I'll take it easy on Matt Saleh. He's had it rough. Sam Addison, you're gonna be my pet project. I'm gonna grind my axe right on your back, right on your bones. I'm gonna grind my axe on you. You played me, son. You played me. All right, here we go. Now, Paul speaks regarding circumcision, and he says some crazy things. Let's go to chapter 3, verse 3. For we are the circumcision which worship God in spirit and rejoice in Christ Jesus and have no confidence in the flesh. Now, when you're reading this, it's easy to miss it. He says, and have no confidence in the flesh. He's talking about circumcision of the flesh. He's talking about following the law, which includes circumcising according to the flesh. And if you don't think so, let's read forward, and we'll bring the point out. Verse 4, though I might have confidence in the flesh, because he's going to explain what he means by this. Though I might also have confidence of the flesh, meaning though I might be circumcised, if any other man thinks that he has whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more. And then look what he leads off with in verse 5. Circumcised, the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of Hebrews, as touching the law of Pharisee. He's talking about him having no confidence in the flesh. He's talking about not being circumcised. So in verse 3, he's saying the uncircumcised are the circumcised, which worship God in spirit and rejoice in Christ Jesus. And that's just not true. A Christian will say, well, right on. And I understand that, but I don't understand a Hebrew who would agree to this. Paul's talking about confident about being a Jew by the flesh. Being circumcised, following the letter of the law. Yeah, right, Welch. Okay? Now check this out, Welch. And I hope Israel, Prince Yashara, I can't see all of you who are in there. Facebook don't let me know how many people are watching or So if you guys don't talk, I don't know who's there. Maybe that's a good thing. But check this out. I want you Hebrews in this room, listen very closely. Okay? I want you guys to listen very closely because we're going to see something. We're going to see Paul lie. Okay? Take a breath. Take a breath. Okay, he says he's explaining his pedigree. Okay? For those who might have confidence in the flesh. Circumcised eighth day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee. Now listen up, listen closely. Listen closely. Concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness, regarding righteousness which is in the law, blameless. Did you guys catch that? Concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless. Now, tell me, how can you be righteous in the law if you're murdering your Israelite brethren? How is that even true at all? We know he was a Pharisee who murdered Christians, the Messianic Israelites, those who believed on the Messiah. Okay, to qualify that term Christian, all right? Those who believed on Hamashiach, he killed them. How was he blameless as a Pharisee regarding the righteousness which was in the law? Doesn't Leviticus 19:17 through 18 say, love your neighbor as yourself? Shema Julian, Welch Fair, what do you think about that? How is Paul blameless according to the law if he was killing his Israelite brethren, the believers on Hamashiach? I'll wait. I'll wait. I'm gonna wait a good while. I'm gonna wait for one of you to respond to that. Speak up, Shema Julian. You have a whole lot to say about me. You got video lives about me. You better speak up. You better speak up, Shema Julian. You better speak right on up. I'll wait, Shema Julian. You better type something. Put a happy face or an LOL or an SMH or something. You better speak up. Concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless. How are you righteous in the law, blameless, when you're persecuting the elect? How can you be blameless at all? Hello? Pay attention, Israelites. Pay attention to what you are reading. Pay attention to what you are reading. This is all I'm asking you to do when you read Paul. Pay attention to what he is saying. I understand, guys. Believe me, I understand. You're supposed to. Now, Welch, would you consider the believers on Hamashiach false prophets? Would you consider the elect, the believers of Hamashiach, false prophets? I'm gonna call them elect because that's really what church means. The ecclesia is the called out. The called out. Shema Julian, then make a face about it. Welcome to my live. Welcome to my live. Don't cry to me. All I need you to do is ask the questions. Don't cry to me. Because you can easily press that X. You can easily close out your window. Cry to me. You're going to make a live with your soul crying. You're going to cry your soul all out on the live. Pitiful. Grown ass man crying on the live, man. You a cold trip, Shema Julian. You a cold trip, bro. Soul bleeding all on the live, man. Race up out of here, man. How is Paul, a persecutor of the church, a killer of the believers of Hamashiach, righteous, blameless according to the righteousness which is in the law? No, but Paul did. But Paul did what, Welch? But Paul did what? Paul murdered his Israelite brethren, and he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have, man. That's the truth, isn't it? Isn't it, Welch? That's the truth, isn't it, Welch? Sheikh Atiba, glad you can join. Tell me how Paul, in verse 6, Philippians 3, Paul says that he was concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness of the law, which is in the law, blameless. How could Paul be blameless according to righteousness in the law when he is persecuting, murdering the believers of Hamashiach? You walked into a very hot live. It's been very, very quiet. This is the type of thing that Sam Addison doesn't want to address, and he wasn't gonna let me get through them. He wasn't gonna let me get. I have pages, guys. Pages. Sam set up a straw man, or do you want to talk about, Galatians 2:11 through such and such? Of course, I'm going to be gracious. Sure, if it doesn't mean it's going to obstruct the rest of the discussion, sure. But what did it do? It did exactly that. An hour and a half. I only got to talk about the scriptures that. Listen, Sheik. Listen, Sheik. Look at what Paul is writing in verse 6. How can Paul be righteous and blameless when he was a persecuting Pharisee? How? Why are you guys not wanting to see this? Nathan Tyler, we're talking about Philippians chapter 3. Concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless. How could Paul be blameless according to righteousness in the law when he was persecuting the believers of Hamashiach? How? I need you guys to honestly answer this question. I'm just going to continue singing the song, whether you like it or not. I'm going to continue singing the song, and I don't know what's going to happen as far as developments, like as far as information about Paul, or what's going to be released in the future about the veracity of Pauline letters, or I don't know if this is just a conversation that Israel has to work through. But you guys can't avoid this type of double speak, this type of confusion. Look at this; it's right in front of your eyes. And setting up straw man situations, arguments like Sam Addison did, and the way he just obstructed me from, like, how I was not able to get back into the live discussion, I should throw up red flags, man. Like, you guys really need to consider this. I'm just gonna continue singing the song until I'm out of breath, man. I guess maybe that'll be the day everyone rejoices. But these scriptures, these verses will be here. These verses will be here, and Sam didn't want to go through them. So he obstructed me. Paul was a Pharisee. Paul was zealous after the traditions of his father's law. Of his fathers, not the law. But is what he's saying true then? Is what he's saying true in Philippians 3:6? Abaya Adonai, you can go ahead and chime in if you want. We're talking about Philippians 3:6. Paul says, concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless. How was Paul blameless according to righteousness in the law if he was persecuting and killing the believers of Hamashiach? These are red flags, guys. These are red flags. And Sam Addison also misrepresented Paul's view on circumcision. Paul was making an argument for circumcision profiting nothing. He says it all throughout his letters. He says it all throughout his letters. Like, and you guys could be mad at me if you want, but these scriptures are here, and they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, guys. Whether you choose to like argue something else when you're confronted with it, it doesn't mean that stuff is going to go away. This is a belief of Paul's. But as God hath distributed to every man, now listen to this, as the Lord hath called everyone, so let him walk. And so are ordained I in all churches, what he says in all churches. As the Lord has called everyone, so let him walk. And then he says, is any man called by the Lord being uncircumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any man called by the Lord in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. What? What? Does Elohim call anybody in uncircumcision? Are you guys reading what Paul is writing? Are you reading what he's saying? Are you reading it? It is sad for whoever did that. Who just added? Who just added right now? Oh no, Shema Julian, you're a nut, bro. You're not getting on my lives. No, you're not. If you haven't gotten a clue, Shema Julian, no one really pays attention to no one really watches your lives, man, and nobody really wants to talk to you, Shema Julian, because you don't know how to talk. You don't know how to talk to people. You don't even believe people should disagree. Take a hike, Shema Julian. I'm gonna be real mean right now. I'm gonna let it out. You picked the wrong time, Shema. And I saw what you did, Shema Julian. What you did to my post in that other group that you're a moderator in. I'm surprised you're still here. I don't ride you, Shema. I don't ride you on your post because I have compassion on you, and I don't always disagree with you. But I don't disagree with your views on how on your views on logic, on reason, how you said it's of the devil. I don't disagree. I don't agree with you that brothers shouldn't have disagreements. Disagreements are a normal part of conversation. Disagreements happen all the time, and you shouldn't be afraid of them. The problem is, Shema Julian, you're afraid to disagree because you don't know how to remain civil in a disagreement. You don't know how, and I know it looks really weird because I'm cussing people out today. I'm pissed, but you guys know I know how to discuss. I know how to discuss. You guys know that. There's a reason why I'm pissed today. You guys know something wasn't right about what Sam did. You guys saw it with your own eyes. That's why I'm lit right now. But you guys know I'm fair. Matt Salih can attest to that. Anybody else who I've lived with can attest to that. I'm very gracious. You know what? Like Sam, you can what I want you to do, Sam. I want you to listen to what I'm saying, to what I'm bringing to the surface, and I want you to create. You don't need me to answer these questions. It's gonna be a minute. I'm gonna see you on the boards, cause this is what you guys like about lives. You guys like that you don't have to. You can talk over other people, and when I'm on a discussion board. Did you just refer to yourself in the third person, Sam? Oh boy, you're like a Buzz Light. You're like a Buzz Lightyear, Sam Addison. You're like Buzz Lightyear, bro. You're all in your head, man. You're all in your head, all in your self-image. Like what you need to do, Sam, is you need to listen to the stuff I'm bringing up, and you should make a live of it on your own and address me, tag me. This is what you guys don't like. You guys don't like when you can't ignore what I write on the post. So you want to go live to where you can talk over me and where you can cut my mic out, and it makes you feel good. It makes you feel powerful. Sam, you shamed yourself. You shamed yourself. But you're such a narcissist, Sam. You don't even see it. You're a hero right now. You're a hero in your own mind. Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond, the defender of the way. Clown, Sam. You're a clown. Sam, you can't engage. You can't engage in an idea. That's how I know you're not as strong as you like to make yourself appear. Someone who can engage hands the mic over. Matt Salih showed more courage against Sakari than you did today. Because Matt Salih showed up, So Real showed up, and he took courage and he answered questions. He may have gotten disproven. He may have not been able to prove his point, but he stood there. He stood there in the ring with his heels on the ground. You play games today, Sam. You play games. We're cool, Abaya. We're cool. I'm just upset at Sam. I got nothing personal against him. Like, I like him. I'm not gonna delete him. I'm not gonna delete any of your posts. I'm gonna. This is the Rumble room. This is the Rumble. Like, you guys really need to, like, you Hebrews need to stop being insensitive, man. Like, you really need, like, that's the problem. And the Christians see it. We disagree, and all of a sudden we don't want to talk anymore. All of a sudden we want to start another camp. We need to learn how to disagree. And I understand, Abaya, and you have an excellent platform and you manage it superbly. Okay, but like, it's okay. Why is it okay to disagree with a Christian, but not okay to disagree with a Hebrew brother? Like, we have to disagree. We have to disagree to refine each other. And I'm disagreeing with how Sam conducted himself. And I'm letting him know. And that's what this Rumble Room is for. It's for people who disagree and people who have a difference of opinion and want to air it. This is not for the faint of heart. This room has a body count. Alfredo left. There's lots of you know what's funny, guys? This is a real rat right now, man. Like, what's funny is you'll get a lot of people that join. You'll get people that you'll get yeah, you funny, Sam. We'll get people who show up, and some people stay, because they're okay with the it's kind of a, I don't want to say hostile environment, but if you're sensitive, it's a hostile environment. Some people leave. Some people leave and never come back. But do you guys know that there are people who leave, but then they'll come back? Shanna Roman left, and she came back. Alfredo Valentin left, but they came back. Edie Sally left, but she came back. There's a whole list of names that left because they were mad, but there was something about this Rumble Room where they was like, okay, let me add it back. Who said what, Abaya Adonai? Who said what? And there's a list of people. There's something about this room, man. It's hard. I know, guys. It's hard to get put on the hot seat. It's hard. if you're sensitive, you're gonna feel a certain way about getting your name tagged. But as you can see, this is the way of the Rumble. This is what we do, and this perfects people, guys. It's a furnace. It's kind of a furnace, its own little furnace of affliction, and it grows people. If you don't grow in the Word, you're definitely gonna grow in you're gonna grow a thicker skin. You're gonna grow a thicker skin, and that's good. I'm cool with that, Welch. I'm cool with people going at my neck. I love it. I love it because guess what, guys? Challenges are uncomfortable, but challenges make you better. When you get your ass kicked in a debate and you find out that there was some scripture that you didn't know, and you would get caught on the chin, like it hurts. It hurts the ego. But you come back knowing something. You come back growing. You grow. And that's the special thing about hard rooms like this, hostile rooms like this, because they're going to make you stronger. And they make you basically respect the truth. Either you're going to respect the truth and you're going to chalk it up, as a learning experience, or you're going to be mad because of your ego. So there's nothing. I don't have anything personal against Sam, but basically it's like I'm gonna put on my gloves and I'm gonna go at him. Like I don't want to see him hurt. I don't want to see him on bad times. Of course not. But I'm going to speak in regards to truth. That's what Elohim is trying to get Israel to do. That's why sin crept in, because Israel didn't hold each other accountable. Because of favoritism, because not wanting to offend important people. That's how Shalom, Abaya, and I. Thanks for tuning in. That's how sin crept in the nation. Suppose somebody had told Solomon about himself. Suppose somebody told, all the kings and held them accountable. Perhaps the outcome for Israel might have been different. Maybe not, because it was prophesied, right? But we know that kings had a choice, and there are some kings that chose good and some kings that chose bad. What would have happened if someone denounced the king? What happened when the prophet Nathan denounced King David of all people? Was he not righteous? We're supposed to be accountable to each other. And you can do it behind closed doors if you want. Or you can do it, or the Rumble Room is here. The Rumble Room is here for you to disagree with somebody in the open. And you're not going to get kicked out for it. I used to get kicked out of Christian rooms, out of Bible discussion rooms for doing things like this. They're hindering the truth. If somebody has something to say, let it come out. And truth will prove it right, or truth will prove it wrong. So me calling Sam Addison, I'm a bit heated, but I don't want to see. I still wish the best for Sam Addison. I still hope he has a great day tomorrow. Wherever I hope he stays safe in the streets. You know what I mean? Like, I don't wish bad, but that's beside the point. Of course I wouldn't be loving my brother if I didn't wish that. But it doesn't mean that I can't get on this Rumble Room and tag him in a post and call him out on something I think was BS. If you guys hear me say I hate a brother, any brother in this room, or that I wish bad things on him, then by all means, please tag me in a post, expose me to the group, expose me. That way I can feel ashamed of myself. That's what you're supposed to do. It's all good, man. It's all good. Maybe Sam, we'll do it on my platform. And what I can do, Sam, is I can show you everywhere we're gonna go. and I can ask and I can show you so that you can develop answers for the questions if that's what you need. Like I didn't. I was frustrated because I had curveballs that I was finna throw. I had some jelly leg nasty pitches for you, and I was totally blocked from pitching my ball because we were stuck talking about the second half of Galatians 2. I didn't even want. I opened that for you, and I didn't think we were going to spend the rest of the discussion. I didn't think we were going to spend the rest of the live discussion talking about it. You know, and no, I didn't take any of that personal. Like, you know, like everybody watching the room, for the record, when somebody calls me something, or you know, when somebody clowns me, like, look, I'm not gonna be like super sensitive about it and hold it. You know, I'm not gonna hold it against them. You know, like Sam said a lot of things, but you know, it made for an entertaining show. It made for an entertaining show, man. So all that stuff is cool. I know Sam doesn't hate me. At least I don't think Sam hates me. But even if there is somebody, even if there was an opponent or a debate opponent or an interlocutor that did have a thing against me, I'm still not gonna hold it against them. Like I thought all that cool stuff, all that stuff Sam was saying, oh, he didn't know this and you didn't read the content. I disagree, but I'm not gonna go hold a grudge about it. Like he was saying, look, showmanship is part of being in the ring. You're supposed like that stuff makes discussion entertaining. Now that's just me. Like other people are more sensitive, but for the record, I forgot half the stuff that he said anyway. Cool, calm, peace, brothers. No. It's sparring. It's sparring, man. Like, and we jar each other. We jar each other. But you know, But what I'll do is I'll post all my questions. I'll screenshot them. I'll put them in a document, and I'm gonna put them there. And matter of fact, I'm gonna just put them there for anybody to answer. And when anybody feels like they have answers, they could just comment, or they could say, "Hey, let's talk about it on a live." Because the thing is, and part of the reason I've been I've sort of taken on this different style. It's really kind of the old me. I'm really like, I'm really sort of like a fiery guy by nature, but like the Most High has been taking me through an experience, and He's sort of taught me how to be still. So I can be the Yoda, the Zen master. But part of the reason I've been so passionate about this is to see if I can get you guys' attention. Like straight up, that's all it is. All the name calling, all the clowning that I do, all the stuff that really has nothing to do with me proving the point. It's really just kind of like to jar you guys and get you pissed enough to like pay attention to what I'm saying. Because so many people will just dismiss it and be like, "Man, you're crazy, man, Paul, you know." So like, if my style didn't work, then I'm just putting it out there for you guys. I guess maybe, I won't do it anymore. But I guess that's all I have for today. Like I said, Brother Sam, I'll post the stuff. I'll post the questions, which is basically what I do anyway. And you guys can respond on the thread, or if you want to go live about it, be like, "Yep, let's go live," and I'll go live with you. And I feel like my point has been made. I feel like I've sort of lit this huge firework, and everybody can sort of see it. And if I were to keep lighting fireworks, it'd be like, "Okay, we get your point. You have a beef with Paul." So what I'll do, I lit the firework, kaboom. Everybody knows it went off. Everybody heard where the sound came from. If you guys want to talk about the issue, I'll talk about it with you. I'm just going to post regularly as I do. But And if you don't, then you don't. No problem. All right. I hope that at least Brother Sam's point was edifying. I hope my point was edifying in the discussion. I hope this live discussion was worth something to those who are listening. And I wish you a blessed rest of the week, Brother Sam. I wish you a blessed week, and I definitely look forward to speaking with you and everyone else on the threads and possible future lives. No problem. All right, you guys have a great evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace, light, shalom.